all the outcomes of our review. However, proceedings dictate that we have to wait for the outcome of that review before we can proceed with the hearing of the bill amendment.
The Gauteng Health Department says it's reduced its civil lawsuit claims from 18 billion rand in 2023 to just under 7 billion rand in the current financial year. These are lawsuits filed against the department by patients who are seeking compensation for ill treatment they suffered at any of the province's public health facilities. Gauteng has consistently been the province with the highest number of such claims. At a media briefing in Johannesburg today, Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo Ralehoko says the drastic decrease in the liability claims will also save the department millions in litigation costs.
This significant achievement was driven by the robust case management strategies, including systematic removal of dormant matters, a consistent application of public health defense, which ensures that future medical expenses are covered through continued care of public health institutions rather than monetary compensation, and the successful implementation of pilot mediation.
Alleged baby snatcher Samima Jacobs is back in the Bellville Magistrates Court today after allegedly abducting a 9-day-old baby. Jacobs, who's charged with kidnapping and defeating the ends of justice, allegedly pretended to be 3 different women in her plot to abduct the child. The Mitchells Plain woman allegedly abducted baby Imad from his mother Iman Sharma in Middelstadtmold in June this year. The accused is out on bail and has been given strict instructions to stay out of Mitchells Plain where the baby resides. Carlo Peterson has more.
When the matter was last in court, baby Imad's mother, Iman Sharma, left the court in tears after Samima Jacobs was granted 4,000 rand bail. The magistrate ruled in Jacobs' favour, saying a lawyer provided exceptional circumstances when he argued she has a minor child who needs parental care. Jacobs, who is now under house arrest, has been ordered to stay out of Stanfontein and Mitchells Plain and to report to a designated police station daily. The accused was also ordered not to have any contact with Sharma or any other state witnesses in the matter. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Economists say the decline in mining output in August is a setback amid weak economic growth and elevated global trade uncertainty. Mining production dropped by 0.2% year-on-year in August. Platinum group metals and gold were the biggest drag in the latest data released by Stats SA yesterday. Nokukhanya Mdambo has more.
7 of the 12 mining divisions recorded lower production in August. In addition to platinum group metals and gold, manganese ore also dropped. Prior to the latest data, mining output had shown encouraging signs of recovery over the past 3 months, even contributing positively to the second quarter GDP growth. While favourable terms of trade and US tariff exemptions on certain critical minerals may offer some support, FNB economists say subdued external demand and persistent uncertainty are likely to keep global growth sluggish. Adding to already pronounced calls, FNB says structural reforms to improve port and rail logistics will be vital to boosting medium to long-term mining activity. On the positive side, output gains were recorded in the iron ore and coal divisions. Nokukhanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
And an Indian court has eased a Diwali firecracker ban. Crackers have been banned in Delhi since 2020 as they significantly contribute to the air pollution crisis the city faces each year. The Supreme Court says the controlled use of green firecrackers would be allowed for limited periods between Saturday and Sunday. Diwali is a major Hindu festival of lights. Gold is trading at $4,192.34 an ounce. The rand is at 17.31 to the dollar, 23.11 to the pound, and 20.14 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.38 a barrel.
Well, at this hour in Alexandra, heading towards Midrand, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. N3 northbound, that's between Modderfontein Road and Marlborough Drive, while in the mother city, there's an accident scene. This is on the M3 southbound before Newlands Avenue, causing huge delays from Princess Anne. There's also slow-moving traffic that is in Constantia due to an accident scene approaching Constantia Main.
It's a partly cloudy day in Gauteng with isolated afternoon thundershowers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs of between 32 and 34 degrees. The top story on EWN this hour, the case involving the bail amendment for crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo has been postponed to next month.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. You're with Mandy Wiener on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. On the show today, Crime Intelligence Head Dumisani Khumalo, in a bid to relax his bail conditions. The Madlanga Commission melds what to do about secret witnesses. The accused in the Senzo Meyiwa case breaks down on the stand. Gauteng MECs give updates on progress reports and get your visas in order. Bafana are headed to the World Cup. All of that over the next hour.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app. DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Report on 702 and Cape Talk with me, Mandy Wiener. Congratulations, Bafana Bafana. Oh, they took us to the brink, hey? And then they did it in emphatic style, winning 3-0 against Rwanda. Nigeria did us a massive favor as well against Benin. So are you going to go, if you have the funds and the means and the will, are you going to go and watch Bafana Bafana in the World Cup? Is it something you would consider if you're able to? So if you've been to a rugby or a cricket World Cup, would you consider going to watch Bafana Bafana in the US or Mexico or Canada, wherever they may be playing? And what are your thoughts about our prospects of success? Is this going to be a first round in the pool stages, we'll be knocked out? Or do you think we could do a Morocco and go all the way to the semi-finals? Haha. Send me a WhatsApp voice note, 072 7021 702 072 567 1567. We are picking up where we left off yesterday. Lots of focus on policing, as there has been for the past few weeks or so. And we'll start with the Crime Intelligence Head, Dumisani Khumalo. He's been in court this week. I know we've been following the Madlanga inquiry, the ad hoc committee, but this whole drama also playing out in the court. So Khumalo and 3 others appearing before the Pretoria Regional Court today on charges of fraud and corruption. Now, if you've forgotten what this is about, just a reminder, they're accused of being involved in the appointment of Dineo Mokwele to an executive position within crime intelligence, despite her not having any previous policing experience. So they want their bail conditions relaxed. Oren Singh, EWN reporter, was in court for us. Oren, tell us about today's court appearance and what they wanted in terms of bail conditions being relaxed.
So essentially, Mandy, the matter was postponed to the 6th of November next month, and this follows a sitting yesterday. They appeared in court yesterday. Khumalo and 2 of his co-accused, Josiah Lekalakalo, who's the head of crime intelligence in the province, and Precious Madondo, who's the head of the analysis center at crime intelligence. They appeared in court yesterday, but the magistrate hearing the matter, Vusimusi Mahlangu, recused himself, claiming that there have been allegations made against the judiciary in the Madlanga Commission, and so therefore he's taking the decision to recuse himself. It must be noted that neither the defense nor the state made an application for him to take this decision. So when they appeared today, the matter was postponed to next month to allow the state to make an application to the High Court to have that recusal set aside. The state are claiming that no one tried to force Magistrate Mahlangu into recusing himself. There was no talks about him recusing himself.
Did he just recuse himself because he's a judge? So any member of the judiciary would have recused
I
themselves?
think specifically in this case, because if you recall, or if you go back to what Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkonazi was talking about at the Madlanga Commission, he was talking specifically about the case involving Dumisani Khumalo. He made allegations against the investigating officer from IDAC, Brian Padiachi, but also hinted to the magistrate and doesn't know how a magistrate would entertain this matter if he had to look at the charge sheet. So without mentioning the name of the magistrate, Lieutenant General Mkonazi kind of did implicate him. And on that basis, Chief Magistrate Vusimusi Mahlangu recused himself. So essentially what the stand-in magistrate said today, that I'm not going to proceed with hearing their bail amendments. They want to return back to crime of intelligence officers. And he says, I'm not going to entertain that until there's an outcome from that High Court application to have that recusal set aside.
Okay, now I was very confused and very surprised to see the reappearance of Advocate Malasela Tefo, who, if just to remind people, this was the advocate involved in the
Senzo
Senzo
Meyiwa.
Meyiwa matter, and now he's popped up here and he wants to bring an application to join this case. What is he doing there?
It was funny for us as well. I think most of the media turned around and he actually came and sat behind me, and I was like, "Is that advocate here for?" And he stood up. He approached the state and he made a verbal application to the magistrate, saying that he wanted to be a friend of the court in this matter, that he had a vested interest in this case because he labels Dumisani Khumalo and the two others as dangerous people. He's alleging that they had bugged his phone, they were monitoring his phone calls when he was arrested, and he believes that he should be involved in this matter. The judge or the magistrate not entertaining this, saying that as an advocate he knows the protocol and he should have filed papers to say that he wants to be a friend of the court in this matter. So basically not entertaining him and
He's just
asking
trying
to
to
stand
insert
out.
himself here,
Basically trying to insert himself and free media coverage, I think, Mandy.
which we're not giving him.
No,
are we?
not at all.
We're literally talking about it. Before you go, what's the update on the Madlanga inquiry and these witnesses?
Well, as we understand today, an attorney representing News 24 and Daily Maverick is meeting with the evidence leaders at the commission. They're trying to come to an agreement regarding witness X. Yesterday, obviously, we heard that witness X would not be providing oral evidence any further, despite he or her not actually verbally coming across in the commission, but feeding their voice into the headphone of one of the evidence leaders. But a decision will be made as to whether witness X is going to be heard in camera or not. The evidence leaders are steadfast in saying that we don't want his or her testimony heard before the public, and therefore we want it in camera. The media houses that have brought this application say that can't be the case. This is crucial evidence and needs to be in the public domain, and transparency is key in this commission, and so they're fighting for his or her evidence, witness X, to be heard in public.
Oren, thank you very much. Oren Singh, EWN reporter, with an update there on the Madlanga Commission, but also on the appearance today in court of the crime intelligence head, Dumisani Khumalo.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Now, in Parliament, the ad hoc committee has finalised the evidence of Shadrack Sibiya, the Deputy National Commissioner. That took place until quite late last night, and it's now preparing for another appearance. Shadrack Sibiya is preparing for another appearance before the Madlanga Commission, but that's on pause at the moment. But what was supposed to happen today was a police portfolio committee meeting to consider the annual report of the police, but it seems as though that has now been postponed. Babalo Ndenze, EWN Parliamentary reporter on that one. Babalo, what were we expecting and what do we get?
Mandy, they were expecting, quite a lengthy agenda with a lot of items on different entities within the police department, but they got nothing today. They were supposed to discuss the annual report, budgets and financial statements of these entities in the police portfolio. There was supposed to be an AG audit outcomes from the Auditor General. There was supposed to be an annual report discussion for the Civilian Secretariat for Police, as well as inputs by these different police unions. So that would be Pop Crew and SAPU, but this couldn't go ahead. Members raised objection to Fanima Samola, the National Commissioner, and the Acting Police Minister, Firoz Kachalia, not being present. Kachalia, his reasons were he's at a cabinet meeting today. It is Wednesday, but members don't like this excuse. They're saying that it can't trump a portfolio committee meeting on the annual report and audit outcomes, especially at a time when the police, seems to be in a moment of crisis, with two different commissions and inquiries happening simultaneously. But then Kola Barnard of the DA raised this matter first before the agenda was even adopted, and members went into a discussion over it. Ian Cameron, the chairperson, also quite angry at the National Commission and Minister not being present, saying that, even at the Commission, they've been accused of not, doing anything as Parliament, and at the Portfolio Committee following that March meeting with Mthatha Mkhwanazi, where he kind of did divulge some of these issues that are now currently being discussed before the ad hoc committee. And, what senior police officials also said, Parliament did not do anything and they failed in their responsibilities. So quite an angry, outcome to the meeting, but they did eventually adjourn, and they just issued a statement, actually, Mandy, about 3 minutes ago, saying that, the Portfolio Committee on Police resolved to adjourn its scheduled meeting today, but the minister and the commissioners failed to attend, undermines accountability, so quite an angry outcome, but they will reschedule another meeting. They don't want a virtual meeting. They want to be face-to-face so they can face them directly, so they can discuss all these issues, Mandy. And that annual report will include issues around tenders and procurement, and it all goes back to those Matlala issues with the healthcare tender. Members raised this as well. They wanted to discuss these matters, as part of these discussions. But that's where it ended today, Mandy.
Interesting. Babalo, thank you. Babalo and Denze, EWN Parliamentary reporter. So no appearance there by the Police Minister and the National Commissioner before the Police Portfolio Committee, and that annual report will have to be considered at a later date. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Did you know that every time you swipe your benefit card, you're contributing towards the Dis-Chem Foundation? Each time you swipe, not only are you rewarded, but a percentage of your purchase is donated to the Dis-Chem Foundation to support communities in need. All the more reason to sign up for your Dis-Chem or Dis-Chem Baby City benefit card today. Support with every swipe. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community.
Are you ready to be inspired and grow your business? The South African Future Trust Summits, in partnership with Standard Bank and 702, returns to the Sandton Convention Centre on 5 and 6 November. Gain insights from international and local speakers, connect with entrepreneurs and investors, and come and pitch your business idea or come and buy a business in a box. Tickets are limited and selling fast. Grab yours now at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a couple stealing glances at each other. In a week, their lives will change forever as they exchange their I-do's. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a love story on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Good day, 702. Yeah, Mandy. I'm quite ecstatic following the qualification of Bafana Bafana, to the World Cup. Yeah, the boys have done quite extraordinary job. However, in terms of their progress, as far as World Cup is concerned, I think they will be able to make it to the quarterfinals. Yeah, this is Maxwell in Q.
Yes, hello, Mandy, Tyron Randberg. Mandy, the eternal optimist, always the optimist, eh? We'll be knocked out in the first round, no doubt about it. It's the first World Cup we've made. The last one we made it was because we're the hosts, first time ever. So don't be such an optimist. Be more realist.
I can't help myself, Tyron. I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to being patriotic and sports fans. I know it's the first one we've qualified since 2010, since we were the hosts, but we've qualified. And look what Morocco did last time around. It's possible. Anything is possible. But the realist in me is, we'll be out in the first round, but we've got some time, and I think that anything is possible. So what are your thoughts on how we're going to do in the World Cup? Are you going to go if you've got the will and the means? Is it something you would go and watch? I know a lot of South Africans travel to watch Rugby World Cups and Cricket World Cups, but is this something that you would even consider doing if you had the funds to be able to do it?
702.
702.
Mandy Wiener.
Weekdays 12 to 1 p.m.
The Senzo Meyiwa case is sitting again. There was a delay because the accused number one, Muzi Sabia, he's been testifying It's the first defense witness to testify as the defense has launched its case, and he broke down on the stand earlier, so proceedings were delayed. They have now resumed. Let's listen in to the case happening now, the Senzo Meyiwa case, and this feed is courtesy of Newsroom Africa.
Yes, we've requested Mr. Makana to us. Okay? Oh, Mr. Makaza, yes, to assist us with the filming of the photos as contained in Exhibit S, as we'll be going through them.
Sorry, my lord. The witness is requesting this screening to be moved a little bit backwards so I can be able to see clearly.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, he says in his other quarter, I should be able to see.
Riveting testimony there, because they were talking about logistics of somebody moving forward and backwards, and this is because Muzi Sabia, accused number one, who broke down on the stand earlier, is giving evidence now. So that's the defense leading its case. We are expecting the other accused in this matter to also take the stand.
7:02, the Midday Report, Monday to Friday,
12 to 1 p.m.
In Gauteng, the MECs are holding media briefings over today and tomorrow as well. So we have various MECs giving progress reports on their respective departments and key priorities. Tabiso Goba, EWN reporter, is following these for us. So let's hear who has been speaking and what they've been saying. Tabiso, good afternoon to you. Thanks for your time. So we are getting these reports from the Gauteng MECs. Who has been speaking?
Good afternoon, Mandy. I have to say, Mandy, it hasn't been as sort of self-aggrandizing as I thought it would be. The MECs have been speaking around, obviously, some of the progress they've made, but also the challenges they've also encountered in their respective portfolios. Take, for example, the MEC for eGov, Mr. Bonkosi Dlamini. He's spoken about around, the work that his department has done in terms of digitizing the medical records for the several public health facilities in Gauteng, but also the installation of CCTV cameras around the province, specifically in Johannesburg, the CBD, where we know there's a lot of crime that happens there. But it's also said, Mandy, that he's dealing with a 1 billion rand budget cut that he has to deal with, and he also spoke around how the department is not dealing with e-waste, so e-waste being discarded electronic appliances like computers and phones. But there's also the MEC for Education, Matome Shulwane, who spoke around very important issues around how the education is sort of struggling to pay some of its service providers, and this has affected the provincially funded school nutrition program, but also scholar transport. He also spoke around the state of readiness for the matric exams that we know that are coming up shortly, but also how the education department has hired more invigilators this time around to ensure that those exams run properly. But as you can imagine, Mandy, the sort of what everyone was sort of looking forward to from the media is the presentation from the MEC for Health. We know that the health department has around 67 billion rand, which is a large portion of the provincial department. And obviously with those developments happening around the Tembisa Hospital and the SIU, there was a question put to the MEC for Health, Mrs. Nkomorale Huku, in terms of, are there other hospitals or public healthcare facilities where there are these sort of rackets, or there's these situations that we saw happening in Tembisa Hospital? And this is what the MEC had to say around that question.
At the moment, we don't have any investigations that we have, but what we have agreed to with the advocate Mutibe and the Premier is that if there is anything that we see, because definitely when there are issues, you will see the red flag. That's why our controls that we have are able to show us if there are any red flags. At the moment, we don't have any red flags in any institution. We sit every Tuesday with the executive and the CEOs of the hospitals are there presenting on their financials, including the status of what's happening in their hospitals. So it makes our life easier to know where there are red flags. So we have not seen any red flags now, but we'll still present to SIU, which is Advocate Mutibe. That was our agreement, that if there is anything that we see, he will definitely zoom in those hospitals. But for now, we don't have any.
And to be so, any of the other MECs, what have they been saying about progress?
Yes, so there's only 4 MECs, Mandy. I think the only MEC I haven't spoken about is Voisa Ramahopa, the MEC for Agriculture. And part of her job, obviously, she was speaking around, she focused a lot on empowering those subsistence farmers, especially in the rural parts of Gauteng. And she also spoke around, obviously, the issue of the foot and mouth disease. We know there's a lot of businesses, farming businesses in Gauteng that suffered a lot from that foot and mouth disease, speaking about how the department has obviously taken it under control, but it's sort of those things, those seasonal diseases that come back every now and then. So she spoke around, obviously, increasing those vaccines, but also ensuring that those farmers, that if they do suffer commercially, there are avenues for them to actually get some sort of help from the provincial department.
Tabiso, thank you. Tabiso Goba, EWN reporter there attending those briefings from the Gauteng MECs.
702. Mandy Wiener.
Weekdays, 12 to 1 p.m.
Well, let's get an update now on the Road Accident Fund inquiry that has been underway for the past week and a half in Parliament. Lindsay Dentlinger, EWN Parliamentary reporter on that for us. Lindsay, good afternoon to you. Take us through where we are today with this inquiry.
Good afternoon, Mandy. Today, the inquiry is probing, in the main, 2 big media contracts. Before the inquiry today is the RAF's head of communications, Macintosh Palela, and a suspended marketing manager, Shlami Matye, who are taking the committee through why the Road Accident Fund entered into these 2 contracts, each of them worth R500 million. So collectively, R1 billion for 2 5-year contracts. That essentially their job is to buy media space. One company to create the content and do the production work, and the other one to find the platforms to put out that media message. But I think what really comes through today and what the committee has been interested to hear is that it is alleged by Ms. Matye anyway that Colin Swallow, the former CEO of the Road Accident Fund, chose to go with these 2 media contracts because he believes that the government communication and information services, GCIS, was too expensive, Mandy. And towards the end of a very long probe this morning, the 2 officials have told the committee that they presented Mr. Letswalo with a cost analysis that proved that the GCIS was not as expensive as he believed them to be, but still he decided not to renew a memorandum of understanding that the Road Accident Fund had previously had with the GCIS. And so right now the inquisition continues about these contracts and the kinds of services and items that were being procured, and MPs really going through invoices bit by bit, wanting to know whether every golf T-shirt and bucket hat that was procured through one of these companies was actually value for money, Mandy.
Lindsay, thank you very much. Lindsay Dentlinger, EWN Parliamentary reporter, giving us an update there on the Road Accident Fund inquiry. 12:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Mandy. Good afternoon. I'm Khomoto Modise. The Investigating Directorate Against Corruption says they were shocked by Chief Magistrate Vusmuzi Mahlangu's decision to recuse himself in the fraud and corruption matter against crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo. Khumalo and 2 of his co-accused are fighting to have their bail conditions relaxed so they can return back to work. Yesterday, Mahlangu recused himself from the matter, citing allegations made against the judiciary before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Umalusi says it's ready to conduct, administer and manage the 2025 end-of-year examinations. The government body responsible for quality assurance in the general and further education and training made the announcement at a press briefing in Pretoria today. CEO Mafura Kometsi says while there are some areas of concern, they are not systemic and will not compromise the 2025 matric exams. And dozens of troops and civilians have been killed in a fresh round of border skirmishes between Pakistan and Afghanistan as clashes entered their second week. Violence between the two neighbors have flared since explosions in Afghanistan last week, including two in the capital Kabul that were blamed on Pakistan. The Taliban government in Kabul launched an offensive along parts of its southern border in retaliation, prompting Islamabad to vow a strong response of its own. Those are the headlines this EWN, more at 1 or as it happens.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Anthony Teixeira. Bafana Bafana were in full flow as they booked a spot at a first World Cup since hosting the 2010 event. Goals from Talent Mabeta as well as Oswin Apolis and Evidence Mahopa handed them a 3-0 win on the night over Rwanda. And that result, coupled with the 4-0 victory for Nigeria over Benin, saw the South Africans claim top spots in Group C and an automatic spot at the North American tournament. Coach Hugo Bruce has hailed the never-give-up attitude in the squad. However, he admits that he questioned if Bafana would qualify, given they had fielded the ineligible Teboho Mokoena against Lesotho earlier in their campaign and a points deduction loomed.
Very difficult situation. And a certain moment, a month ago, I thought, no, I didn't think it, but I was sure that it was one against everybody. It was one against everybody. South Africa against all our opponents in our group. Because there were things happening, I'm very sorry, but that is not right. But we resist and we believed in ourselves and we achieved it.
On the night, 5 other nations also booked their spots at the event. African giants Senegal and Ivory Coast, England, Saudi Arabia, as well as the 2022 host Qatar. Switching to cricket now, where the Proteas have lost the first test against Pakistan by 93 runs. They began day 4 with the early wicket of Tony de Zorzi and Tristan Stubbs, despite a fight back from Deelwood Brevis, who scored 54, and Ryan Rickardson's 45. They lost constant wickets after lunch, and they were all out for 183. Norman Ali named player of the match as he took 10 for 191 in the test match. Captain Aidan Markram says they won't be using a batting second on that deteriorating wicket as an excuse.
Suppose you never look back thinking the toss was the difference, and it didn't feel like that in this game either. Felt like there were moments where if we got on top and ran with a bit of momentum, it could have been a different result. So I don't want to say that the toss was the difference at all.
And the Pakistan women have been bowling brilliantly in the opening 10 overs as they've put England under huge pressure. They 57 for the loss of 6 in the 11th over. This is at the Women's Cricket World Cup. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage in the Calvin Alex area, we still have roadworks slowing down traffic on the N3 in both directions. This is between London Road and the Batu interchange. Also traveling through the Joburg CBD, there's slow-moving traffic M1 southbound. That's through the double-decker section. Also in the Mother City, we have that accident scene M3 southbound approaching Newlands Avenue, causing heavy delays all the way from Princess Anne, and Chapman's Peak Drive remains closed off to traffic. This is due to alien vegetation clearing. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again, in, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again and again.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Lock into roaring rugby action this season with Hollywood Bets. Bet 50 Rand or more on any Vodacom United Rugby Championship fixture, and you could win a share of 300,000 Rand in cash, betting vouchers or prizes. This includes Smeg bar fridges, macro vouchers, a Sharks captain run, or a player circle experience. Only the toughest team will prevail. Bet now and let the rugby rumble begin. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Good day, Mandy. Great show as usual. Mandy, people forget this is soccer. This is not rugby or cricket, which are only played by a handful of countries. In rugby and cricket, no matter how bad you are, you'll always be in the top 10 or top 20. This is soccer, a global sport. And making it to the finals of the World Cup is quite a feat. People must understand that. This is not rugby or cricket. This is soccer. Well done to Bafana Bafana. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I think Bafana will do well. And also for other nations, because of the heat factor, Bafana will reach the second round or even go through to the quarterfinals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, football is the most popular sport in the world. But that still doesn't mean that we can't do well. You know, it's possible we can do well, but lots of people calling me out for being an optimist. Keith says, Hugo Broos must get the order of the Companions of O.R. Tambo. Definitely the best coach Bafana ever had. Luckily, he will only step down after the World Cup. Some praise there for Hugo Broos. Simon says, hi, Mandy. As a Kaizer Chiefs diehard supporter, you don't know how it's been at work today from the Orlando Pirates. They now know better than everyone else, but they forget how close we came to not going to the US. We should instead be congratulating Nigeria and not Pirates for making everything possible for us to go through. Thanks, Simon. Don't be such a hater, Simon. Hi, Mandy. I'm also an optimist, and I'm sure that we can get through the group stages. I think that all our sports is on an upward trajectory. Go Bafana from Phil in Somerset West. And then Di's asking, where is the Soccer World Cup being played? It's next year. It's in North America. So it's being co-hosted by the US, by Mexico, and by Canada. It's going to be logistically a nightmare for teams traveling around. But that's where it's going to be. And let's hope they actually fill some stadiums in North America.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Well, let's go to the Western Cape now. Police in the Western Cape, the SAPS, launching the Safer Festive Season operations under the auspices of Operation Chanela 2. They're highlighting police readiness for the upcoming holiday periods. Lots of fanfare taking place there. And Tutuzelo Nene, EWN reporter on that one for us. And Tutuzelo, what is the Provincial Police Commissioner saying about the readiness for the festive season?
Good afternoon, Mandy. The police top brass in the Western Cape saying that the festive season operations are well underway. Major General Luyanda Damoyi saying that during this period, violent crime tends to increase. And he outlined the 10 focus areas which, they deem problematic, especially during this period. These include gender-based violence, which becomes prevalent as levels of alcohol abuse tend to increase during this period. Aggravating robberies is another focus area, Mandy, as criminals usually target the busy malls during this period. And other areas include extortion and kidnapping related crimes. Enhancing of border security to prevent the movement of illicit goods via our borders. The enforcement of bylaws is also a focus area, as well as safety and the protection of tourist attractions in and around the Western Cape, as well as road safety operations to kind of crack down on drunk driving and increased levels of road accidents. And in addition, Mandy, to boots on the ground, the police say they will be using drones in their crime-fighting operations. And in an interview we just wrapped up now with Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tebelo Mosekili, saying that the Western Cape is one of the 4 provinces that they have identified as crime hotspots, which includes the Gauteng province, the Eastern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal. But she's saying that their officers are ready to police all corners of South Africa, including here in the Western Cape.
We know that the police in the country, obviously, in the spotlight at the Madlanga inquiry, at the Parliamentary ad hoc committee, lots of negative publicity around the police. Today was a big show of force by the police in the Western Cape. Do they seem deterred at all by what's happening politically within the SAPS?
We didn't get a chance to really get into, those things, because even this interview that I'm speaking of, it was an impromptu. We just stopped her while they were, handing over the new vehicles to different police stations and units in the Western Cape. So a proper interview, I guess, will be done after the whole program is finished, and then we'll get an opportunity to really get into all those details with the generals that are here today.
Great, thank you very much. Ntutuzelo Nene, EWN reporter, speaking to us there about the Western Cape Police readiness for the festive season.
702.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, you know you're reaching the tail end of the year when the police have their readiness for the festive season, and Umalusi briefs the media on exam readiness ahead of the matric exams. So Umalusi at the briefing today speaking about the state of readiness of the public and private assessment bodies to conduct, administer and manage the 2025 end-of-year national examinations. Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, Umalusi CEO, joining us now. Dr. Rakometsi, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your time. Are you ready for the exams?
Mandy, we are ready to quality assure the 2025 examinations in South Africa for the Department of Basic Education, Department of Higher Education and Training, the IEB and Sakai.
Okay, so you're ready. What goes into preparedness for the oversight, as Umalusi does?
What goes into it is for us to go into the systems of the different assessment bodies and do a stress test to check whether the department has got enough markers, all the papers are ready, and that they've got a clear plan of how they are going to run the examinations. And we are able to critique that plan and say to them, as we look at the plan, we see the strengths in these areas and we see risks in these areas, and you better correct the risks. And the risks are categorized into the low risk, moderate and high risk areas, and we expect them to take remedial measures to correct whatever situation we feel is not up to the standard.
We are just days away from the commencement of the National Senior Certificate exams, the matric exams. What are some of the issues that we've experienced in the past that you are preparing for, or that you're looking out for this time?
One of the issues that we've experienced in the past is group copying, and that will be at the high-risk centers. And we're saying, in order to preclude the recurrence of group copying, we want the department to have resident monitors at those centers, so that what we observed in the past is that the teachers, together with the principals, in some instances, were the ones who were assisting the learners or even facilitating and allowing the learners to engage in group copying. We are saying we have to have a resident monitor to stay at the school so that doesn't happen. At another level, it is the issue of the principals who do not allow some learners to write the examinations, because those learners are weak, and because of their weakness, they may compromise the outcome of the results in their schools. We are saying that is not allowed. All learners are equal. All learners have to be equally assisted to be prepared for the examinations. And there is no principal or teacher who's allowed to say learner A is not going to write because he's weak and he wants to get a good outcome for his school? Because if that learner is included in the list of the learners writing at that school, he may not get 100% pass. That make him look good on the league tables provincially or nationally. That is not allowed.
And then lastly, concerns around potential leaking of exam papers. What measures are in place for that?
The leaking of papers has become a thing of the past, in that the people who work in examinations have to be vetted just at one level. And also, where the question papers are stored, we have to have a double locking system which says no one individual will have access to where the papers are stored without another individual. The other individual will have the key and I'll have the key, so that for me to access where the papers are stored, both of us have to be there to monitor each other. So the leakage of papers is becoming a thing of the past in the system.
Well, Doctor, thank you very much. Good luck to Umalusi. Obviously, the matriculants are the ones that really need the luck, but so do you. Thank you very much for speaking to us today.
Thank you very much, Wendy.
Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, Umalusi CEO, speaking to us there about preparedness for the matric exams.
Year in, year out, we're fixing tires faster than a Formula One pit crew. My team is on top of things like tire whisperers. If an unforeseen accident were to happen in my workshop, at least I've got My Way business insurance to keep the wheels turning.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
The Wits School of Governance develops leaders and innovators who reimagine governance, strengthen institutions, and drive inclusive growth across Africa. Your journey to impact starts there, from postgraduate diplomas to masters, PhD programs, and executive education tailored for today's wicked problems. They equip change makers in government, civil society, and the private sector with the tools to lead boldly and with purpose. Governance matters. Visit wsg.ac.za and apply today.
Small businesses are anything but small. They're the backbone of our communities, the dreamers, the doers, the ones who keep Mzansi moving forward. That's why 702 and Capitec Business Banking are putting them in the spotlight. Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m., catch Small Business Focus with Capitec, where we showcase the hustle, heart, and the secrets to thriving in today's economy. Your vision matters, and with Capitec, you're never building it alone. Small Business Focus with Capitec, the business bank for everyone. Thursdays between 6 and 8 p.m. on 702. Capitec Bank is an authorized FSP 46669.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Guri, you can't compare yourself to Morocco. Bafana Bafana, they are hype. I'm also of the opinion they are going to be cut into size. I heard they were saying, the commentator yesterday, we can smell the buffalo wings, blah, blah, blah. Go there and be cut into size. They will not even progress into knockout stages.
Hi, Mandy. Bafana Bafana is going right to the finals. There's nothing special about these players. That is playing for Madrid, Barcelona, you name it. Whatever they have, we have too. So there's nothing special about them. The ball is round, and our boys are going to do very well. All things are possible if you believe, and I believe in Bafana Bafana. All they need to do is just believe more than the other players. Thank you.
Two sides of the spectrum there. I think that there's one thing being an optimist, there's another being a delusional dreamer. I don't see us going to the final, I'm afraid. I think I'd be very happy with the knockout stages. But don't be a hater, man. Don't be a hater. Don't say we're just going to get knocked out in the first round. We can't think like that. I know that there's a lot of great teams, but you never know what can happen. Anything could happen, and that's the beauty of sport.
702.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, speaking of the beauty of sport, I recently did two things that I need to tell you about because they're just cool Joburg stories for the Joburg listeners. The one is I got a tour of the inner city, Marshalltown specifically, with some of the people from Josie My Josie and the amazing work being done. The other is I took a bike ride on Josie Trails and the work that's being done by Josie Trails to get the whole Braamfontein Spruit all the way from Albert's Farm all the way through to Leeuwcourt Prison, that area and how it's been revitalized and it was so beautiful until I landed on my face off my bike, which was a whole other story. But I loved the experience of just riding with Joburgers. Everyone was out walking and that spurred an invitation to join the Discovery Vitality and Nando's Vitality Chicken Run, which is a run through the city of Joburg. And I know people are like, the city of Joburg, it's broken, it's a mess, it's not safe. Why must I run through the city of Joburg? But I think it's a very cool thing to do because it gives you a different perspective on experiencing the city of Joburg. So Jessica Wheeler, who's the marketing director at Nando's, is joining us and to tell us a bit more about the Vitality Chicken Run. Jessica, thanks so much for your time. So firstly, tell us about the Vitality Chicken Run. What exactly is it and when is it happening?
Hi, Mandy. Yes, thanks for having me back. The Vitality Chicken Run is a really cool event that is happening on Saturday, the 8th of November. We are running either 5Ks or 10Ks, depending on your appetite, through the Joburg CBD, and in particular through areas like the ones you've mentioned in Marshalltown, just to help people reimagine what the Joburg CBD could be and to see the amazing work that's already happened, unbeknownst to anybody, that is really trying to transform the CBD.
So those people who are reluctant, whose experience of the CBD is rubbish-strewn streets, crime, what do you tell them in terms of their expectations? Will they be safe?
So they absolutely will be safe. We have done everything we can possibly do to make sure that people feel safe and secure. We have enlisted the help of the JMPD, the SAPS, community policing forums, as well as private communities that are coming out that are so proud to show off, their little corner of the CBD. To those who are concerned about coming for other reasons, like they've seen it all and they've seen Joburg CBD at its worst, the only thing you can say to those people is just come and see and just come and believe, because you will not believe the progress that is being made. And there is still tons to be done, but it starts here, and it starts with just seeing the little incremental changes that are happening across the city.
So if people want to join on the 8th of November to run through the heart of Joburg, where can they go and sign up?
So it's really, really simple. You've just got to go and check out Vitality SA on social media. That's Discovery Vitality SA. They're obviously our event partner. If you are an established runner and you are used to entering these kinds of things, you will find it on racepass.com if you just search Vitality Chicken Run, and you'll be able to enter there as well.
Brilliant. I'll be there. I think I'll do the 5K, but maybe I'll push myself, but I'll be there, Jessica. Thank you.
And hopefully you won't fall on your face.
I also hope I won't fall on my
face.
Jessica Wheeler, Marketing Director at Nando's SA. So you can run from Constitution Hill, across the Nelson Mandela Bridge, past Maharishi Sports Club, Gandhi Square, and just see a different perspective of Joburg. It's one that I've seen recently, I've been very impressed by, and a lot of work still needs to be done, yes, but a lot of work has been done already. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The motor racing event Cape Town has been waiting for is finally here. Get ready for the Speed Classic Cape Town. Over 140 historic cars, race cars and supercars will compete in a full-throttle showcase of motion, sound and style. Experience the ultimate speed test as the legends of yesterday meet the icons of tomorrow. The Speed Classic Cape Town takes place on Philip Khosana Drive on October 25th and 26th. Get your tickets at WebTickets today.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a family driving to their new home, carrying boxes stacked with plates and toys and memories. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a new beginning, a fresh start on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
And now, it's back to Mandy Wiener on the Midday Report.
This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
This is something that this nation needed. A different way to look at football, a different way to judge players. And I hope now, I really hope that, okay, in December we are AFCON, we will try to do as good as last one and hopefully even better. But I hope that with all those high-level tournaments, and certainly next year in America with the World Cup, that players will have the opportunity to go to higher competitions.
Bafana qualifying for the World Cup in North America next year, and lots of response from everyone about the reaction, how we expect them to do. Well, let's get some analysis now with former Bafana Bafana player Kagiso Degachwe, who joins us to speak about this. Kagiso, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. We haven't qualified for a World Cup since 2010 when we hosted the World Cup here in South Africa. What is the significance of this to Bafana Bafana, to former players, to current players? What does it mean?
Good afternoon, Mandy, and good afternoon to the listeners. It's really a very proud moment. The guys have done a fantastic job, but credit must also go to the technical team, Coach Hugo, his assistant Helman Mkelele, everyone on board, the conditioning coach, Kopano Melesi. They've been doing this since day one, since the coaches came in. The consistency has been there, the togetherness and also keeping the players around for a while. But also importantly, what I would like to mention is that we must also give credit to the PSL. It really shows that the standard of football is growing. If you look at the team itself that has been playing for long in this national team, the team consists of PSL players, players from Pirates, from Sundowns, from Chiefs, and I know for a fact that the door is still there open for any other players, from the so-called small teams.
Yeah.
And that will give, that will also make the competition more even stiffer, in the PSL. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for everyone who's been involved in trying to make sure that we qualify for the World Cup.
And Kagiso, having played in a World Cup yourself, what is it going to require for us to not just arrive, but to actually compete?
It will require the support, not just from the fans, not just from the family members of each players or of each technical member involved, but the SAFA itself. A massive support is needed. This is what we also got to receive in the 2010 World Cup. The coach at that time managed to keep us together for a long time. And as much as we never got to go further into the group stages, but I believe at that time, everyone gave full account of themselves. We did our best. It was unfortunate that we never got to come out of the group stages. But the support was immense, and thus we managed to give it our best.
We have to get through an AFCON first. What needs to happen between now and the World Cup? And what are your expectations of how we could do?
Look, like I said, it is important that we keep the togetherness, and if need be, if there's areas or that needs to be strengthened,
players from other teams who haven't managed to make it into that team is to work hard in making sure that they raise their hands up high and say to the coach, look, I want to be in that team. So it's all about the togetherness and moving forward. I think we can still do well. We did well in the past AFCON. We managed to get the bronze medal. And going to Morocco again now in December, I still believe that the team is in good shape. And I think we're going to come with the gold medal.
Yeah, there we go. Kagisho, thank you so much. Kagisho Dekhatwe, former Bafana Bafana player. He knows about playing in a World Cup, having played in the 2010 World Cup, giving us his analysis and the support. We need to support our team. Don't be a hater. Be an optimist like me. Well, thank you so much for joining us. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk was brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. It's 1 o'clock.
This is EWN.
IDAC challenges magistrate's recusal in Dumsani Khumalo case, and dozens killed in clashes between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Good afternoon, I'm Khomoto Modise. The investigating directorate against corruption say they were shocked by the Chief Magistrate Vusmuzi Mahlangu's decision to recuse himself in the fraud and corruption matter against crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo. Khumalo and two